I transmigrated into an NPC in a CEO romance novel. Unwilling to be mediocre, I tried every possible way to make money. When the male lead booked a hotel room, I sold condoms. When the female lead had a stomach ache, I sold medicine. I made a fortune, but the way the female lead looked at me became increasingly strange. The plot began to spiral out of control. Seeing the situation was bad, I prepared to run away, but the female lead stopped me, eyes red. Can you bear to see me marry someone else? I transmigrated into a book, becoming a flower vendor in a CEO romance novel. According to the plot, I sell flowers to the male lead, then the male lead confesses to the female lead, and my mission is complete. But the stupid author has no common sense at all. Selling flowers downstairs in an office building? No one is going to buy them. Those people are busy from morning till night. Who has the leisure to buy flowers? So I started selling grilled sausages. And let me tell you, business is booming. Shalon Group's work hours are from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. 3 or 4 in the afternoon is when everyone is sleepy and exhausted. I took out my phone and asked in the company group, I'm getting a coffee. Anyone want one? Everyone eagerly signed up, and every time I would add, want a grilled sausage? Super delicious. As soon as I said that, the orders came pouring in. I turned on the gas tank, poured oil with my left hand, and sliced the sausages with my right, 20 at a time so fast you could barely see it. The second batch of grilled sausages was ready, and I took out a thermos from under the food cart, 250 milliliters of boiling water, and 3 packets of instant coffee. That's the secret to a rich coffee. The last cup of coffee was for Sue Mann, the female lead of this book. Knock, knock, knock. Enter. President Sue, here's your coffee. Anyone who becomes a president is a blood-sucking capitalist. And Sue Mann is a notorious female demon, efficient, ruthless. Even the king of hell has to do a 10-page PPT before leaving. This place is not for long stays. I dropped the coffee and turned to run. Wait! I stiffly turned around and rubbed my hands. Does President Sue need something? She was tall and slender, with sharp eyes, took half a step forward with her arms crossed, and an aura of dominance washed over me. Which department are you in? My forehead instantly broke out in a cold sweat, and I could only make something up. Sales. Sales department. I've been undercover in the company group for 3 months and haven't been discovered. Am I going to be caught in a gutter today? She raised an eyebrow slightly. What's your name? Zhao Daqiang. That name's too casual, like something an old man selling tea downstairs would use. The old man selling tea eggs is called Li Dagua. That's my real colleague. The sales department is too mixed. Those who look familiar are basically smart and motivated. Congratulations, you've successfully gotten my attention. Sue Mann picked up the phone and said something. A young woman in business attire led me to a reception room. Here's the contract. Take a look. If there are no problems, sign your name in the lower left corner. What's going on? I'm selling grilled sausages just fine. Why would I come here to be your slave? Are all CEOs this overbearing? I'm a top grilled sausage salesperson. Why would I care about your paltry offerings? I leaned back on the sofa and said in a contemptuous tone, how much does the president's assistant make a month? $2,000 during the trial period, $25,000 after becoming regular. My anus tightened and my pupils dilated in shock. How much? 8,000. The male lead, Gubai, had disbelief written all over his face. What kind of flowers are so expensive? And why are you, a grilled sausage seller, selling flowers? These are haute couture, understand? Arabica mountain-grown, wild roses. Gubai was stunned by the lie. Arabica? Isn't that coffee? You're such an amateur. These roses exude a faint coffee aroma. Smell it if you don't believe me. Gubai nodded suspiciously. It does have a faint coffee aroma, but the grilled sausage smell seems stronger. These were originally prepared for CEO Yuan. If he hadn't had something urgent come up, you wouldn't have gotten your hands on them. You got a good deal today. Gubai glanced at his watch. The flower shop would be closed at this hour, so he reluctantly paid the bill. After getting rid of this sucker, I'll pack up for the day. Single profit of 7,920, happy. Another fulfilling day. The next morning, I went to work with vigor. Passing the pantry, I heard everyone gossiping about a new hire who was a relationship hire, and even the president's kept boy on the side. Glug, glug, glug. I pulled out my supersized water bottle and took half the water from the water dispenser. Company water is free. Might as well drink it. I'd gotten familiar with almost everyone in the entire group. They didn't avoid me at all, and I naturally blended into their conversation. Oh, the president likes that kind of thing. It's true. It came from HR. Little Wong lowered his voice, looking mysterious. TFAKSK. Gubai of Goo's group just confessed to her yesterday, and the next day, she hired a kept boy as an assistant. That's quite the move. Wait, assistant? My eyes twitched wildly. Were they talking about me? As soon as Gubai was mentioned, they went into fangirl mode. President Gu is so great, young and promising, and handsome too. Yeah. A few younger girls frowned, all feeling indignant on Gubai's behalf. At that moment, the sound of light footsteps came from the doorway. The group quickly exchanged glances and tacitly changed the subject. I, carrying my large water bottle, had just stepped into the president's office when the group behind me immediately erupted. Su Man wasn't there today, only that bouquet of roses on the boss's desk, still emitting the aroma of grilled sausage. The first thing I did upon entering the office was to plug in the 80,000 W outdoor power supply. The thought of being able to run the air conditioner all night with the company's electricity made this job feel profitable again. I spent the day playing paid-for-time Do Diju, but my mood was terrible because nobody was buying my grilled sausages anymore. I posted the group buying list 5 times in the group, but not a single person signed up. Clearly, while still a workhorse, I had now been classified into a different camp. At 6 o'clock in the afternoon, the alarm rang. On the dot, I clocked out and prepared to leave work. Su Man, walking with the wind, blocked me at the door. Are you out of your mind? I was full of questions. Does having hemorrhoids count as being mentally ill? Su Man's face turned green and then purple, as if she had eaten a dead fly, probably because she didn't expect me to actually have a medical condition. She took a deep breath and typed grilled sausage in the WeChat search bar. There were hundreds of related chat records in the group, all posted by me. You keep asking if anyone wants to eat grilled sausage, and even when no one replies, you still post it as a group buying list. Have you never eaten grilled sausage in your life? Your current position is a president's assistant, not an errand runner. At the end, she didn't forget to add, I thought you were resourceful, but I didn't expect you to be an empty vessel. An empty vessel? What are you calling that? I can't take that kind of disrespect. I grabbed her wrist and started walking out. She said angrily, What are you doing? The company employees all looked sideways, but she wasn't as strong as me and couldn't resist at all. I took her downstairs. Now that no one's around, tell me, what do you want? Her pretty face was slightly red, and her tone softened, probably afraid that I would kidnap her. Light the fire, pour the oil, make the cuts, grill the sausage all in one go. I pinched a small amount of salt, my fingers trembling slightly as the grains of salt slid across my forearm and scattered like fine rain on the grilled sausage at the elbow. Surprise! You thought I was running errands, but a grilled sausage vendor is actually my hidden identity. It was the end of the workday, and employees of Deep Blue Group were coming out of the office building in 2s and 3s. Su Man covered her face with one hand. Stop grilling. I expertly flipped the sausages over. How can I? The best sales times are before and after work. I'll give you 1,000. I'll buy all these sausages, okay? Okay. I immediately turned off the stove and, under Su Man's astonished gaze, took out the large thermos and started making coffee. Here's 2,000. Don't bother with the coffee. Got it. I sprinted all the way, pushing the food cart so hard it was sparking. The remaining sausages can be frozen and sold tomorrow. Hello, here is your fruit platter. Su Man looked up and saw me in a dark red brocade waistcoat. She spat out a mouthful of cocktail directly. Zhao Daqiang, are you on drugs? Didn't I just transfer you 2,000? I grinned and flashed my employee ID. Don't talk nonsense, I'm a gold employee. Hurry up and take off that outfit. There are a lot of acquaintances here. If they see you, they'll think I'm cutting employee wages. Su Man helplessly took out her phone and let me enter the amount myself. She seemed to be in a bad mood, drinking alone in silence. I transferred 500 to myself and discreetly left. 2 hours later, we met again in the underground parking garage. President Su, we meet again. Su Man's delicate body trembled, and she slowly raised her head, the alcohol fumes sobering her up a bit. Zhao Daqiang, How many side hustles do you have that I don't know about? I smiled without saying a word, put the folding bicycle in the trunk. I have other rides coming up. Can't waste time. The ride was smooth. The car stopped in a parking space in Shinga Bay. I helped her out of the car. I lowered my head and saw those E-cups directly. Wow, she's really got something. The tight bodycon skirt perfectly outlined her breathtaking curves. Just one glance, and I started to feel restless. She put her hand on my shoulder, intentionally or unintentionally, constantly breathing into my ear, making my old face blush and a surge of desire shoot straight towards my lower abdomen. I secretly pinched myself hard on the waist. Starting price 53, 5 per kilometer, totaling 102. 5. We're acquaintances. Give me 200, we chat, or cash. Sue Man's face was flushed, and her eyes were hazy. Don't you want to come upstairs with me? I waved my hand righteously. That's extra? Sue Man chuckled and transferred 10,000 to me. I trembled and pressed the confirm button, President Sue, this isn't right. I'm still a virgin. Sue Man laughed and scolded. Dream on. Get lost, just drive the car away and drop it off at the company tomorrow. Then what will you drive tomorrow? Sue Man paused, looking puzzled. I don't only have one car. Okay then. Okay. You all have money, and I'm stuck doing ride-sharing. Sue Man sat in the meeting room, silent, her face so cold it could frost over. The sales director, spewing saliva, roared, pointing his finger at the sales managers. Even a dog tied to the door knows to guard the house. What about you? Are you blind? You didn't even know the company's big client was snatched away. There are 3 days left. If you don't get the client back in 3 days, pack your bags and get out. My fingers flew, and I transcribed his words into the meeting minutes verbatim. Even a dog tied to the door. I don't know when the sales director appeared behind me. Who taught you to take meeting minutes like this? Do you have any brains? Hey, what the hell? You're not my leader. What are you acting like a big shot for? Before I could refute, Sue Man had already spoken. Are you teaching my people how to do their jobs? Sue Man looked at him, her expression cold. The sales director trembled and bowed obsequiously. President Sue, you misunderstood. I lost control of my emotions. I'm really sorry, really sorry. 3 days. Remember the time you said, if you don't get it done in 3 days, I'll make you the first to get out. Sue Man's emotions were unusually stable, but every word was like a heavy bomb, and the sales director was sweating profusely. Everyone sat up straight, gasping for breath. Meeting adjourned. Everyone dispersed. I looked at the meeting minutes in front of me and couldn't help but sigh. This meeting was utterly pointless. What could have been said in 2 sentences was stretched out with a bunch of useless stuff. He's one of those old fogies from the family. He's deliberately trying to trip me up to stop me from becoming the company heir. Is this client important? Very important. I could lose my chance to be the heir because of this. Tisk. Hearing this, I felt a sudden tightening in my nether regions. If Sue Man was dethroned, wouldn't my 25,000 yuan monthly salary disappear too? I'll help you. I looked directly into Sue Man's eyes, speaking slowly and deliberately. Sue Man raised an eyebrow and smiled. You? Just you wait and see the show. A small client? I got this. The first day, the entire sales department was frantically busy. The second day, a small number of people were still trying to salvage the situation. The third day, everyone simply threw in the towel and gave up. At 3 in the afternoon, when the client was supposed to be signing the contract with New Dragon Group, they were instead following behind me, sweating profusely. Amidst everyone's surprised gazes, I led the group to the president's office. They signed the contract on the spot in under 10 minutes. The sales director, his face flushed red and his eyes bloodshot, sputtered. What are they doing here? Shouldn't they be at New Dragon Group? They're here to sign a contract. Aren't you happy they're partnering with our company? He wiped the sweat from his brow. Of course I'm happy to partner with our company, but contract renewals are supposed to go through me. Why did they go to the president's office? It's not a renewal. It's a new contract entirely. I pinched his greasy cheek, but regretted it immediately and wiped my hand on his shoulder. This. His face was darker than liver, his mouth opening and closing without making a sound. He was like a mute-eating Coptus chinensis, bitter but unable to speak. He was a pawn of those old fogies, hoping to bring down Sue Man with a self-destructive move. Now, he had tried to steal a chicken, but lost the bait instead. He was going to take the blame for losing the client, while none of the credit for the new contract would go to him. His large body seemed to have lost its soul, stumbling back to lean against the desk. Files scattered on the floor. His usually meticulously styled comb-over was now a mess. "We need to get out of here." I grabbed Sue Man and ran. I secretly glanced at Sue Man. In broad daylight, I had grabbed her wrist again. Instead of being angry, she was smiling. We had barely stepped out of the office building when we saw the new Dragon Group people rushing into the company, looking menacing. The crowd of people at the bottom of the building grew larger and larger. Judging by the looks of it, the entire new Dragon Group had come out. At first, they were just shouting downstairs, but when a few people with burnt posteriors joined the fray, the situation escalated into a brawl, using mops, buckets, leather shoes, everything they could get their hands on. The fighting intensified, and eventually someone brought out a bucket of night soil, turning the brawl into a poo fight. The scene was quite spectacular. The person most deeply affected was my company's sales director, who had to endure not only physical attacks, but also magical attacks. The old guy was kneeling on the ground, his face covered in feces and his hair pulled out. "Grandfathers, it wasn't me. It really wasn't me." The blame was directed at him, as expected. There was no way he would give such a lucrative client to New Dragon Group for free. He must have taken plenty of kickbacks from them. Now that the client had temporarily defected, New Dragon Group had been outmaneuvered, and they were going to vent their anger on him. Wah! After a flurry of punches, our poor sales director had even lost his dentures and was now crying in the sewage. "What exactly did you do to make them so angry?" Sue Man looked me up and down, as if interrogating a criminal. "Nothing much. The night before, I secretly added some laxatives to the bottled water in their company, locked the toilet doors, and bribed the security and cleaning staff to go on strike today." Soon, videos began to be shared in the group chat. "I advise you not to watch it. The video stinks." Suman clicked on the video with curiosity, but regretted it as soon as she did. She didn't touch her coffee and dessert on the table afterwards. The video was taken in the conference room. The negotiations were halfway through when, with a poof, the business manager of Shinlong Company sprayed feces on the spot. The client nearest to him was so scared that he fell backwards. After the business manager fired the first shot, everyone responded in succession. Poof! 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 The sounds continued incessantly. With each poof, a golden flower bloomed on an employee's trousers. In an instant, flowers bloomed everywhere, and cries of pain echoed across the room. After this incident, the sales director suffered different degrees of physical and mental damage, and eventually resigned to take the blame. This also brought the battle to a conclusion. For making such a great contribution, in addition to the bonus I deserved, Suman gave me a month's paid leave. Even though the surveillance cameras were turned off that day, she still gave all the security guards and cleaners a considerable hush money, saying she was afraid someone would retaliate against me. I had been fighting underground black boxing matches since I was 18, so I wasn't afraid of retaliation at all. I suspected she mainly wanted to give herself a vacation too. While selling grilled sausages in the park, I saw Suman and Gu by walking side by side. Without a word, I dropped the cart and secretly followed them. Two walking money bags together, I knew which one was more important. The two of them chatted for a long time, discussing nothing more than the power struggles in wealthy families. I hid behind a long chair until my legs went numb. When they talked about missing the opportunity to buy concert tickets, I jumped out like a shot. Gubai fell backwards, staring at me in shock. "Who are you?" "A scalper." I smiled faintly, hiding my accomplishments and fame. Suman covered her face with one hand, pretending not to see me. Gubai sized me up, looking somewhat incredulous. "You can get tickets?" "Of course I can, but the price." "You know." I grinned and rubbed my fingers next to him. Gubai pointed to the first row on his phone screen. "Right here, 2 tickets." "All right, 10,000 yuan on top of the original price per ticket. WeChat or Alipay. I also take credit cards." As I spoke, I pulled out a POS machine from my pocket. Gubai's lips twitched. "Do you think I'm stupid? Please wait a moment. I need to take a call." I pretended to answer the phone, but in reality, I paced back and forth in front of them. Some people are good with their words, convincing women is their specialty, but they clam up when it comes to spending money. You can't be with a man like that. I pointed at the phone and smiled slyly. Don't take it personally. I'm on the phone. Suman laughed until she almost doubled over. Gu Bai's face turned pale and then green, and finally he squeezed out 2 words between his teeth. Credit card. I seemed to have a fate with Gu Bai. I just met him during the day and then ran into him again that night. He tossed his car keys to the valet and wrapped his arm around a girl, ready to enter the hotel. The girl was tall and thin with a pair of fox-like eyes and looked like no good. She should be the second female lead, the mistress Li Feifei. According to the plot, Gu Bai's relationship with Suman was a business scam. Gu Bai colluded with this woman to seize Suman's control over Deep Blue. TCH scum. I turned to leave, but then I thought, he who doesn't make money is a bastard. President Gu, we meet again. Seeing it was me, Gu Bai almost reflexively took half a step back. Why are you so persistent? Li Feifei sized me up with disdain. Brother, is this your friend? I have no friends like him. Li Feifei revealed a disdainful smile. I knew it. How could brother have a friend like this? He looks so poor. I treated her words like farts. Making money was the priority. I chuckled and pulled Gu Bai aside. I have something you'll definitely like. Really? Gu Bai raised his eyebrows, gesturing for Li Feifei to go up first, but Li Feifei clung to his arm like a limpet, refusing to let go no matter what. In that case, pardon my rudeness. I ripped open my trench coat. On the left were various sizes of tools. On the right were brightly colored little raincoats, more complete than a supermarket. Li Feifei jumped back a long way like a cat whose tail had been stepped on, letting out an ouch. But she immediately regretted it and ran back to hug Gu Bai's arm, gently pinching him. You're so annoying. Li Feifei pretended to be shy, covering her face and running into the hotel. What's called professional. This is damn professional. Just now that scene, translated is, I'll go up first, I'll be washed and waiting for you, hurry up. Gu Bai was still relatively calm, but this act of coy rejection slightly flushed his cheeks. I'm not used to using generic brands. We have name brands too, 001, 002, 003, hyaluronic acid. Which one do you want? I took out the hidden models from a secret pocket in my trench coat. Gu Bai cleared his throat with a light cough. Naturally, 001. Money changed hands, and he scurried into the hotel with a little umbrella. He didn't know. I had anticipated his anticipation. I poke holes in all the 001s. Pah! Fickle, two-timing scumbag. On the last day of vacation, Suman sent me a WeChat message. Where are you? She's my sugar mama. I can't be negligent. I replied instantly. Eating buffet. Suman, turn around. I put a spoonful of caviar in my mouth, turned around, and saw Suman sitting in the distance. She was wearing a silk dress, revealing her fair collarbone, sexy and powerful. I put down my tray and squatted beside Suman. Waiters are fine for sitting on customer sofas. I looked around warily, using Suman's body as cover, and took a big gulp of the juice on the table. The caviar was too salty. Even dogs wouldn't eat that stuff. I give you money. Can we please stop doing side hustles? Suman's tone today was soft and completely lacked her usual domineering CEO aura. She was holding her stomach with both hands, her face pale, and fine beads of sweat were seeping out of her forehead. Even at a time like this, she's still worried about her hardworking employees. Seeing her symptoms, I understood immediately. Don't worry, take this. Suman looked at the sanitary napkin in her hand and glared at me fiercely. I have a stomachache. Don't worry, I have stomach medicine too. I took out stomach medicine from a pocket in my vest, popped out 2 pills and handed them to her. Suman didn't think twice. She put the pills directly into her mouth and swallowed them with the juice I had left over. This action was somewhat unexpected. Suman usually didn't have a single wrinkle on her clothes, and she was so meticulous about her work. I thought she was an obsessive-compulsive with severe cleanliness issues. After taking the medicine, Suman's complexion improved slightly. She leaned back on the sofa and sighed. Are you Doraemon? Tell me, what else do you have in your pockets? I felt my pockets and found a packet of hangover pills. The people who attend these banquets are all rich or powerful. 10 CEOs, 9 with stomach problems. I prepared a 3-piece set before leaving, thinking about squeezing the hell out of these evil capitalists. Name your price. I scratched my head and said something I'd been thinking in a joking tone. You dare to take the medicine I gave you without even looking. Because of that alone, I'm too embarrassed to ask for money. Sue Man turned her head to look at me, a slight smile on her lips. You don't have to be polite with me. I tip male models starting at $88.88. How much? These evil capitalists. They don't deserve any pity. I skillfully transferred money from Sue Man's phone to my own, transferring $88.88. Feeling unsatisfied, I transferred another sum. I'll turn you into a pauper sooner or later. Before I could press the confirmation button on my phone, Sue Man suddenly grabbed my wrist. What did you put as the memo for me? Her tone returned to its familiar coldness, and I couldn't help but feel a shiver down my spine. Sue Man glared at me, took out her phone, and dialed a number. 2 seconds later, the 3 words female demon reappeared on my phone screen. Sweat instantly poured down my forehead. Let me explain. She crossed her arms and snorted coldly. I'd like to hear how you explain this. I clenched my fist and coughed lightly. The female means beautiful. Demon is saying you have a devilish figure. Head is easy to understand. Head honcho, leader, the one in charge. I stole a glance at Sue Man, and she was actually smirking. I breathed a sigh of relief in my heart. She's my sugar mommy. I can't afford to offend her. Are you hungry? I'll treat you to dinner. Saying that, Sue Man tossed me the Bentley's car keys. Wow, last time it was a Cullinan. This time it's a Bentley. Is the money of you capitalists blown in by the wind? 40 minutes later, I stood in front of Sue Man's refrigerator, deep in thought. You said you'd treat me to dinner. Where's the food? The empty refrigerator had nothing but 2 bottles of something. I picked up the tall glass bottle and examined it carefully for a while before realizing I was overthinking things. There wasn't even alcohol, just 2 bottles of unknown mineral water. Absolutely. Sue Man looked a little embarrassed. I don't often eat at home. I must have misremembered. I slumped onto the sofa. Then let's order takeout. Sue Man squeezed out an awkward smile. Takeout isn't allowed into the complex. Okay. You rich people are all fairies, not eating earthly food. Another 40 minutes passed, and I came back with a case of beer in my left hand and 2 bowls of river snail rice noodles in my right hand. Staring at the strangely smelly stuff in the bowl, Sue Man frowned. What is this? River snail rice noodles smell stinky, taste delicious, try it. I handed her the chopsticks. She took a sip of beer and shook her head. You capitalists are already out of touch with the lives of the people, you know? If you don't want to eat it, don't eat it. I'll just eat 2 bowls. I ate half of the first bowl and went to the balcony to take a call. When I came back, there were only 2 empty bowls left. Sue Man walked past me with a floor cleaning machine, nonchalantly. My bad, I accidentally spilled your dinner. Before you lie, at least wipe the red oil off the corner of your mouth. Son, find me the most handsome photo now, immediately, instantly. Just as I got home, I received a frantic voice message from my mom. I found a half-naked abs photo from when I was working out in my album and sent it to her. She replied almost instantly. My mom is so tech-savvy now. Just as I was about to marvel at my mom's speed, I saw a row of exclamation marks from Sue Man. Sue Man? Me. Sorry, sent it to the wrong person. I quickly clicked the undo button and then sent it to my mom again. As soon as I sent it, my mom sent me 3 60-second voice messages. Don't underestimate my mom's finger speed. Her speaking speed is not slow at all. I guessed it wouldn't be anything nice. I didn't click on them. Seeing that I didn't reply, my mom called me directly with a voice call. I usually prefer to send text messages if I can, and voice messages if I can't avoid it, and never call. My mom isn't like that. As if her WeChat doesn't have a keyboard, she never sends text. I took a deep breath. Just as I pressed the answer button, my mom's roar came from the other end of the phone. Are you out of your mind? I asked you to send me the most handsome photo. What the hell did you send me? 6-pack abs, isn't that handsome enough? I can't exactly send a nude photo. Do you have a dog's brain or something? Your Aunt Zhang wants to set you up on a date. First impressions are important, you know. What kind of picture is that? Shirtless? You look like a hoodlum. Then what kind of picture should I send? Do you have a passport photo? That's more like it. I sent a photo from my work ID, and my mom finally hung up, satisfied. The next day, right after lunch, I got back to my desk and my mom video called. Tell me, the Shao she introduced you to, why haven't you accepted her friend request? I stole a glance at Sue Man and lowered my voice. Mom, I'm not ready yet. What do you mean not ready? That two-dog from elementary school already has kids who can go buy soy sauce. Can you try harder? How old are you? Do you want in the Zhao family line? It's not like there's some prestigious family. I mumbled something, and my mom immediately got angry. Hey, you little brat. My dad pushed my mom away and started trying to reason with me. Son, don't argue with your mom. Listen to what I have to say. These two, one plays the bad cop, the other plays the good cop. Same goal, I'm used to it. Dad, stop. I'll add her, okay? A faint fragrance wafted over, and Sue Man suddenly appeared behind me. She put her hand on my shoulder and drew circles with her finger. Are you coming to my place tonight? Huh? You can't just say half a sentence. I just went to your place and ate some snail noodles, and I even paid for them myself. I was about to explain when she pinched my ribs hard, with a strength that rivals even the factory women who tighten screws. The video call was frozen for 3 seconds by this sudden scene. Then my mom excitedly screamed, "Old man, come here quickly." The old couple put on their glasses while Sue Man greeted them generously. "Hello, Uncle and Auntie. My name is Sue Man." My mom and dad were beaming. Good. The three of them chatted very well. I was like an outsider. After finding out that Sue Man was my boss, they changed their tune. "This kid has always been mischievous. If he doesn't listen to you, you can hit him. Don't spoil him." Sue Man chuckled. Okay, I'll remember that. After hanging up, I quickly tried to make amends. Don't listen to them. I've always been obedient. Corporal punishment of employees is illegal. We can't do illegal things. Sue Man's lips curled up slightly. We'll see how you behave. Was it just my imagination? Why did this feel so ambiguous? I looked up and met her eyes. They were full of smiles, a rare sight of tenderness. Sue, are you trying to pick me up? What did you call me? Sue, you ruined my blind date. You have to take responsibility for me. Sue Man's pretty face flushed and she coughed in her fist. At the company, you have to call me Director Sue. Oh, I understand. What do you understand? Privately, it's Sue. At the company, it's Director Sue. I understand everything. You. I lifted my shirt in front of the mirror. The place where I had been pinched was red. I secretly glanced at Sue Man. She was staring at my abs and swallowed hard. Realizing that she had been caught, her eyes darted around, and she could only cover up her embarrassment with a dry cough. Put your clothes on, it's not good if others see. I understand everything. Only you get to see them. Sue Man stomped her foot in annoyance, her delicate ear tips turning red. I was momentarily lost. It was the first time I had seen her so girlish. After this incident, my parents never urged me to go on a blind date again. Instead, they kept sending local specialties to the company. I haven't had this kind of treatment since I graduated and started working. Every time, "What's my son doing?" was followed by, "How about Xiao Su?" On weekends, they would go to great lengths to cook delicious food to lure me home. But it would always be followed by, "Remember to bring Xiao Su back with you." Of course, I knew what they were thinking, but the main story wasn't supposed to be like this. Only being with the male lead, Goodbye, could drive the plot forward. After all, I have a huge conspiracy waiting to be carried out. A week later, the news of Sue Man and Goodbye's engagement spread like wildfire in the company. I was sitting at my desk, playing Do Diju. Sue Man stood with her arms crossed, a slight smile on her lips. "I'm getting engaged to Goodbye. Don't you have anything to say to me? I'll throw flower petals for you guys then." This answer seemed unexpected. Sue Man's body trembled slightly, and the playful smile from before vanished. "Can you bear to watch me marry someone else?" Her eyes were slightly red, and she stormed out. "Wait a minute. At least let me finish." They got engaged at lightning speed, and afterwards, Sue Man successfully secured her position as the heir. As if sensing something, Goodbye suddenly proposed a group merger plan. Even more outrageous was that Sue Man actually agreed. Using business restructuring as an excuse, her uncles, who harbored ill intentions, were all sidelined. Everything's a mess, a total mess. Sue Man isn't answering my calls or replying to my WeChat messages. If this continues, Sue Man will lose control of Shenlong even before the mistress gets a chance to act. At Goodbye's inauguration ceremony, I held up a stack of photos of her and the mistress and shouted, "This guy is a scumbag. I have proof." The crowd exploded like a drop of water hitting a hot oil pan. Goodbye charged towards me aggressively. I had originally prepared a honey trap for him, but suddenly everything went off the rails. I had no choice but to resort to Plan B, a do-or-die scenario. Even if I couldn't bring him down, I'd still give him a good dose of unpleasantness. I put on an annoying expression. You try touching me? I will touch you, so what? He was furious and reached out to push me. The moment his hand made contact, I flopped to the ground and rolled my eyes, giving everyone a live performance of instant death. The planted shill next to me knelt down and let out a pig-slaughtering howl. Murder! Murder! Gotta scam some money first, then get up and disgust you. I squinted my eyes and suddenly spotted Sue Man in the crowd. Not only was she not angry, but she was also covering her mouth and snickering. Silly woman, being sold and not even knowing it, still in the mood to laugh. In the end, Gu-Bai was defeated by my shameless spirit. After all, I could be shameless, but he couldn't. As soon as the 200,000 yuan medical expenses arrived in my account, I resurrected on the spot and continued to loudly hawk the photos. Come one, come all, see a pair of adulteress. Before I could finish speaking, Sue Man covered my mouth from behind and dragged me away. In a deserted alleyway, she took my hand and smiled gently. Don't you have anything to say to me? You're confused. You actually signed the group merger plan? I don't want to hear that. I'm telling you, that Gu-Bai is the worst. If you don't find an opportunity to get rid of him now, you won't be able to clean up the mess later when his power grows. I don't want to hear that either. I sighed. I knew you were plotting against me for a long time. Luckily, I'm rich. I'll take care of you from now on. Sue Man couldn't suppress her smile. It seemed that this was the answer she wanted. Everything settled down, and Sue Man and I got together. Now that we've both lost our jobs, we plan to stay at our hometown for a few more days. My mother is a simple country woman who can't stand being idle. Every time Sue Man wants to help with housework, she tells Sue Man to hurry up and take care of her own things, afraid of delaying her from making money. But recently, my mother has been acting increasingly strange. Sue Man had to sneak around to wash a dish, seizing the moments when my mom went to the toilet, or my mom would rush over like the wind, snatch the bowl, and take preemptive action. Are you pregnant? Why else is Mom acting like this? I secretly asked Sue Man. Sue Man shook her head, equally confused. No, I'm not. So, while my mom was cooking, I cautiously approached her. Mom, you've been acting strange lately. Are you hiding something from me? My mom glanced around warily, and after confirming that there was no one else besides us, she revealed the truth. I think Switzerland is especially beautiful. How about we go to Switzerland? Sure. I read online that it's the time of the great animal migration in Africa. How about we just pop over to Africa too? Sure. We're trying for a baby now, right? How about we change houses too? This time, Sue Man paused the Douyin video she was watching. Isn't my over 1,000 square meter apartment in Xinghe Bay enough? A large apartment is definitely not as good as a villa. If we change to a villa, the child can be closer to nature, we can get a big dog and plant some fruit. That makes sense. Let's give my apartment to our parents. They should change their house too. Sue Man seemed to realize something and put down her phone. You little rascal, are you trying to trick me? Even without being a CEO, she still exuded an aura of dominance. I didn't dare to lie and had to confess. Mom accidentally saw a text message from the bank when she was wiping the table. Do you have 9 digits in your bank account? Sue Man threw her phone at me, and I counted. It wasn't 9 digits, it was 10. I sold the company to Gu-Bai. To ensure a smooth transition, we put on a show for everyone. It wasn't supposed to be this urgent, but his girlfriend got pregnant unexpectedly and is waiting to officially take his place, so we had to advance the plan. That is indeed unexpected. So Li Feifei wasn't a mistress at all, and no one said she was a mistress. The idea to put on this show with Gu-Bai was hers. Losing the company was already upsetting enough, and I was afraid of hurting her pride, so I never asked about her savings. Now it seems I'm the one who should be feeling a blow to my pride. Even with so much effort, I don't even have a fraction of her savings. I lay on the bed in a starfish position. I'm lying flat. I'm not going to do anything anymore. I'll just be a kept man. Sue Man straddled me. Want to lie flat? The daily quota hasn't been paid yet. My pupils dilated in shock. Wait, wasn't it paid just yesterday? She kissed me fiercely. From now on, it's paid every day. I cried. This is like adding extra hours to a non-existent shift. Those evil capitalists.